This is how I used a real camera to make it look like a phone camera. Check it out. So I had a long behind the scenes day. I'm gonna make two videos kind of talking about each of them separately. In this video, we're talking about a commercial I shot for a local grocery store chain, Acme grocery stores, larger chain here in Northeast Ohio. Still a family owned operation, so it's kind of cool that it's like, they got like 13 stores, you know, big giant grocery stores, but still sort of a family-oriented chain, and even the attitude, the environment, the culture is very much, you know, this is a family-run operation. So Acme grocery stores are very cool, and I've worked with them for a number of years now on a variety of projects. So this was a new one. They wanted the commercial to look like a social media thing, which is funny to me. You know, the farther we get down this road of influencers becoming the standard today, you see more and more commercials on television and streaming services that they look like they were shot on a phone. In some cases they probably were, and yet we've been trained by YouTube that this is a very acceptable format, and now people kind of expect to see it even when they're just watching television. The standard has changed so much. When I first started doing this, if you shot a commercial that looked like it was shot on a cell phone, no one would want to hire you again. And now they're hiring me to use my good gear to make it look like it was shot on a cell phone. So here we are. So the trick was that, you know, I wanted to shoot it on a gimbal because it had to be smooth like a cell phone. It had to be close, so I needed a wide angle lens. But my initial concern was, how am I going to make it look like she's holding the camera while she's talking to camera? And what I came up with, and you'll see it in the footage I'm showing here, is I mounted a magic arm onto my gimbal rig, and then I asked her to just hold it very gently with two fingers, and that way she would follow me, but I didn't want her to ever lead me. I'm leading her, and she just would use that as a reference point to continue to hold on to, so it looked like she was holding the camera. That was my first way to overcome that problem. The next thing that I did was I used the DJI Mic 2 system with the active noise cancellation. Worked really well. You know, some people say, oh, you don't need the noise cancellation. In that environment, that might have been the ideal use case for it. The grocery store is loud. There are sections where there are refrigerators and coolers humming. There was even music playing when we first started, and yet the active noise cancellation got rid of all of that. The only problem, and it's a big one, that I ran into with it is it was combating so much noise that the audio got a little computery sounding at points. Fortunately, I was able to smooth a lot of it out in Audition and kind of warm it up and bring it back to life, but I got rid of all the noise, and that was the primary concern. I've shot in that grocery store a bunch of times, and it is always difficult, especially when you get over by the meat coolers, and this was a meat ad, so we were right in the middle of all of those refrigeration systems. But at the end, it came off pretty good. Oh, I used this new lens that I've been going on and on about in a number of my videos. It's the Viltrox 15 millimeter 1.7, I think it is, or is it a 2.0? It's a very fast aperture. Really a good looking lens. You know, obviously there's a little distortion on her face because she's so close to a wide angle lens, but if you didn't know her, you wouldn't pick up on the distortion. And that lens has just really been impressing me. I've used it on a number of different applications. It's a very low distortion, low, you know, that you get that wide, it's not fisheye at all. It's a very linear image that comes out of it. Obviously being that wide, you know, you get to the edges, it is stretching, but big fan of that lens. I would recommend that to anybody who's looking for a affordable, wide angle, 15 millimeter thing to throw on either your APS-C sensor. I think it works on full, I don't know. Well, I don't know. But if you have your full, you just put in crop if it doesn't. But it's a wonderful lens. Anyway, it got the look though of that cell phone wide angle lens, so you can see the environment around her. And so it worked very well in sort of imitating that look of cell phone video. Now, of course, they also wanted us to shoot some socials and shoot in vertical format. And I had gone through the process of getting an angle mount for my camera so that it would shoot vertically. But yeah, I was so nervous to use the Pocket 3 with a new customer in a commercial environment, but I shouldn't have been. You know, we all know what a solid camera this is, and if we're trying to shoot something that looks like social, you know, and it shoots, I know it's 3K, but that's plenty for social media. This is easy as can be. You know, the hardest part was what I probably should have done is just let her hold the camera, you know, in retrospect. I still rigged it up so she was holding on to a magic arm, but it was much closer to the camera because really that's what it's designed to do. But, you know, we still wanted a little bit wider angle, and the 20 millimeter on the Pocket 3 is a little tight. So this way she was able to have it a little bit farther away and yet still look like she was holding the camera. And the shots came out of it looking fantastic. And of course, as you all know, then connecting the microphone, it's a breeze. So she just, again, used the DJI Mic 2 directly connected to the camera, and, you know, it looked like a cell phone video. No problem. I don't know. So that's how I did this shoot. It was pretty low impact. Oh, there was one other thing I did. I got this really neat little light, and I should have talked about the light. Just mounted to the side is a little bit of fill. It was just one of those small little LED, you know, these little panels that are so popular now. I think it was an aperture one. But it's nice because, you know, you get in an environment like that and the light's constantly changing and moving around, and suddenly you have this whole rig now that's taking care of someone having to Hollywood a lamp over the person and someone else holding a boom, all in one rig. Made it really easy to be a one-man band. Kept her face well exposed, no shadow in the eyes. In fact, a little bit even, you know, catching a little eye light. And so it worked really well as a system, and I just brought it all over. The similar setup I did with my big gimbal, I just used with the little camera here, and the look matched up wonderfully. So, you know, you can use a Pocket 3 on a professional shoot. I mean, I did anyway. It's all about having your customer understand that this is just a new tool, and I'm a big fan of it. I don't know, that's what I did. How many of you have actually started using these pocket cameras in a professional environment? I'd be very curious. I think getting customers to understand that this isn't a toy, this is just a modern camera. And to that end, that's why I've been talking about how excited I am about the advent of the Pocket 4P, which I probably won't be able to get my hands on, or the Luna 2P. So that one is probably in my future. I'm waiting for that release. I really would like to see that camera. So I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, please be sure to like, share, and subscribe. And, you know, while you're here, definitely watch the video in the corner. Like, that might be one you might enjoy. And I mean, if you like this one, why not? Give it a whirl. I'll see you next time.